What's up YouTube, Erod212 here with another video. So today we're going to be unboxing some modern CGC monster keys. Alright, so like I said, there's some monsters in here. Tough books to find. Really rough, hard to find variants, and just some really nice keys. And like always, we'll go through the books. I'll show you them, and then we'll talk about price points, and I'll show you what some of them are worth, because it's worth it. And some of these books you might not even know about. So hopefully, this is a little bit of an education on variants and stuff like that, and things to look for in the wild, because sometimes these books are out in the wild and stores miss them. It happens all the time. I was just at Bronx Anime Show, and shout out to my man Lone Wolf, fantastic show. They put 700 people through the door in the Bronx. It was just a great show. Not only did they have comic book vendors, they had an artist alley, they had a cosplay contest, they had a video game section for people to compete in. It was just, people were having fun. There were families out there, people I had never met before coming up, saying hello, fans of the channel. I appreciate that. It's always fun. And some young readers, dads introducing their kids to comic books, and that's what it's all about. That's how we all start, right? So let's start off with a book I believe in, and it has dipped since, but this is still a great book, and that's Venom #3, first appearance of Null, and this came back at 9.6. I was shooting for the 9.8, but once I didn't get it, you know what? 9.6 is still good. Still about $160 book right there, $180 book. What's this in here? Okay. Got this, and this is the one disappointment of the batch. I thought this was a higher grade. I must have missed something, but this is X-Men #221. We all know first appearance of Mr. Sinister, and it came back at 9.2. What else we got here? Let's do this one here. We'll do them here. This came back. I like this covers. Renew Your Vows has some great sleeper covers to them. And this is Renew Your Vows what issue is this? #2. This is a 1 in 25 J. Scott Campbell issue from 2017. And this beauty came back at 9.8. Very nice. These bags are giving a little glare, so I'm going to pop them out the bags if you guys can just bear with me as we do them. That way you guys get a better view on the books. And I'll just rebag them. If you watched that video, I picked up Detectives 880, and I also picked up that Supergirl and Legion of Superheroes, that Adam Hughes. Two beautiful books, two great modern books to pick up. And the Detective 880, this came back a 9.6, so pleased with that. Next book was a low grader for sure. I knew that going into it, but low grade is better than no grade in this book. One of the books from my childhood, a book that one of the first early keys I chased after, and this is X-Men #94, 101, first appearance of the Phoenix. And I was just reading something the other day. It said that the reason they changed her to Phoenix was because, in the 60s, she was Marvel Girl, and she was becoming a woman, and Marvel Woman just didn't seem right. The team was going in a new direction, and hence the name Phoenix, which was fitting, This is low grade. I was hoping for a 4, but it came back at 3.5. So super nice entry-level book for any X-Men or key issue hunter. I picked this up in a recent collection, and I felt it was slab worthy, and I was right. Right around where I thought. I was looking in that 7.0 to 8.0 range, hopefully, and it's right in the middle. It came back a nice 7.5. Front presents well. As with always, it has a few little issues on the back. This book, for the most part, defects usually attack it on the back cover. So here's a a book you should keep your eye out on. Do you see this? It's a book to grab. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 674, and I'm trying to remember. It's the 50th anniversary cover, and I believe it's limited to a certain amount. But this is just a great homage to Silver Surfer number 4. And this book gets expensive in the 9.8, even in the 9.6. It's worth having. I believe Amazing Murfinator was the first guy I saw to pick this book up, so I had to have one. I believe this is like the second in my collection, but this one, bam, came back at 9.8. Wonderful. Just nice. Alright, so we talked about this on a recent show. This is when I went to that Long Island show, and show wasn't really that great, but I did find this in the wild, and I thought it was worth it. I said I thought it was between a 9.6 and a 9.8, hoping for the 9.8. It was a candidate, but it came back at 9.6. Still super happy. Not a high census on this book, and right now your anime books, your Dragon Ball, your Dragon Ball Z, this book, and your video game books, you know, your Blip number 1, every time you see it, I see it, it sells. But even like you know, all of the video games, like I'm trying to think of like some franchises, Zelda and anything like that are first time, Metal Gear Solid, Gods of War, any of those games right now, their first appearances in comics sell very well. So be on the hunt for those, man. Always looking. I mean, this Sailor Moon was pretty cool. Look at the back cover on that. That's pretty dope. That is nice. All right, what do we got here? All right, we're gonna go with, oh, all right, one of my favorite books right there. Batman 655, first appearance of Damian Wayne. And this is the 1 in 10 Andy Kubert variant. Tough book for me to get in a 9.8. Never gotten this in a 9.8. Carries a nice premium in a 9.8. And bam. First time getting this in a 9.8. Wow. I am happy with that. That's a nice book. This is one of those books I was talking about. So this is X-Men number 25. Now, I've had this for quite a few years. Decided to finally get it graded. This is one of those books. You'll see the regular version, which is not worth anything. There's also a gold version where the lettering is all gold. And you have this one here, which is, they just called the variant edition. But in the community, it's the black and white variant. As you can see, the outline is black and white. The back cover, black and white. This is an expensive book. In a 9.8, this book goes for some money. But even in a 9.6, it's a good book to own. And we got this back in a 9.6, so I'm extremely happy with this. This and the gold, if you ever see them out there in the wild, pick them up. At the right prices, pick them up. Remember, Silver Age books are drying up. Multiple guys that I know that buy big collections all the time are saying they're not seeing the amount of silver come to them that they used to. And it makes a lot of sense. You know, Silver Age books are 60 years old. And the way that Golden Age don't pop up that often, Silver's starting to become that way. They're staying in big collectors' collections, and the other stuff is just filtering in. Everybody tries to hold on to them for as long as possible. So it's time to think about copper and modern, and I really feel that they should be changing the way moderns are tiered. Create another tier, because modern's been going on since 1975, right? How can you have that tier go that long, or whatever it is? You know, it's just a long time for a tier, you know, 30, 40 plus years, when everybody else has their length. Time to come up with something else. All right, so here's another nice looking key right there for you. X-Men. This is Gambit number 1, but this is the gold edition. So now this book is tough because it's a hard cardstock. So it takes a ding, kind of like The Killing Joke and those other books. They're hard cardstock. You can't do too much to them to make them present much better. But this one here was a nice looking copy, and it came back at 9.6. Yeah, I'll take that. All right. Let's take a look at this one. All right. What do we got here? Oh, another one. Man, I tell you about regret. There are very few that I regret, but this Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man run, I used to own the one where he's running along the taxi cab. I'm drawing a blank right now, but I own that book, and I raffled it off way too soon. I looked recently; it's like a $3,000 to $4,000 book now. It's just insane. But this is the Peterson variant. This is the 1 in 25, I believe it is. And this is a nice book. Nice book. Especially in a 9.8. We get this in a 9.8, which I thought this was, and bam, it is. A nice 9.8. Fiona Staples. There you go. See? Memory's not that bad yet. But yeah, the Fiona Staples variant it went through the roof. It carries a lot of weight. It's one of Miles. Miles has some of the best modern variants as far as value is concerned in the last almost 15 years. Even 10. You go to 10 years to his own title. It's some of the best. Think about the Nas hip hop variant, the Fiona Staples, the Peterson, the Isanov. There are just so many Miles variants that go for big money. You know, books to hunt too, because sometimes people don't realize. I found the Isanov for $5. So always hunt, guys. Always hunt. Here we go. All right, so this is a Supergirl Legion of Superheroes. I believe this is like a 1 in 10 or so, but the print run on this thing was so low and the demand is so high. It is a gorgeous Adam Hughes cover. When I bought it, I said I thought it was a 9.4 to a 9.6, I believe, in that video. And I didn't think we would get a 9.8 on it. But at the price I got it, it was great. And we got a 9.4 on it. So I'm super happy with this one. That might be the only one in here that I don't let go yet. I don't know. But if you're interested in any of these books, just shoot me a text. Hit me up on Instagram or whatever, because they're all available. And all of these books, I did press them and clean them if they needed a cleaning. If you want your books pressed and clean and you don't want to put them in the mail, then I do have a drop-off service. Myself and Main Street Comics have combined forces to accept commissions there where you can drop off your book and I will pick them up. I go there once a week, see if there are any orders, pick up those books. Turnaround time is about 14 to 16 weeks right now. We do offer an expedited service for an additional fee, submissions to CGC and CBCS if you require. All the information is on my website, so take a look at the website, and if you want to use it, use it. If not, you could always drop them off at Main Street Comics. And here's the last one, and this was a recent collection also, and I love this book. One of my all-time favorites, and I still think an underrated book, NYX #3, first appearance of Laura Kinney. And this book goes for money. I think a 9.8 recently sold for almost $1,200. So the book still does not dip. It bends, but it does not it bends, but it doesn't break. It just flexes. And this one came back a 9.6. So like I said, some big keys in there, some tough to find variants, and don't sleep on the modern age, guys. There are so many good books in the modern age. It's just all about reading and what people like. Future generations are all going to be. We've talked about this, Edge of Spider-Verse, and Miles and Gwenpool, and all of these characters that are being created now. We're like, bah humbug. Well, that's what happened when people created Deadpool and all these other characters from that 90s era. I remember when you couldn't touch 90s books, it was garbage. It was dreck. And now there's a bunch of big keys in there that people go after. But enough of that rant. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. And until next video, peace.